De somne bicosa per naturam, the deep constitutional or predisposing cause of dreams lieth within the jurisdiction of the will itself. For that will, being always present, albeit it may be latent, discovereth himself when no longer inhibited by that conscious control, which is determined by environment, and therefore ofttimes contrary to himself. This being so, the will declareth himself as it were in a pageant, and showeth himself thus apparelled unto the sleeper, for a warning or admonition. Every dream or pageant of fancy is therefore a show of will, and will being no more prevented by environment or by consciousness, cometh as a conqueror. Yet even so he must come for the most part enthroned upon the chariot of the exciting cause of the dream, and therefore is his appearance symbolic, like a writing in cipher, or like a fable, or like a riddle in pictures. But always doth he triumph and fulfill himself therein, for the dream is a natural compensation in the inner world for any failure of achievement in the outer. De somne vestimenta horroris. Now then, if in a dream the will be always triumphant, how cometh it that a man may be ridden of the nightmare? And of this the true explanation is that in such a case the will is in danger, having been attacked and wounded or corrupted by the violence of some repression. Thus the consciousness of the will is directed to the sore spot, is in pain, and seeketh comfort in an externalization or show of that antagonism. And because the will is sacred, such dreams excite an ecstasy or frenzy of horror, fear, or disgust. Thus the true will of Oedipus was toward the bed of Jocasta, but the taboo, strong both by inheritance and by environment, was so attached to that will that his dream concerning his destiny was a dream of fear and abhorrence, his fulfillment thereof, even in ignorance, a spell to stir up all the subconscious forces of all the people about him, and his realization of the act a madness potent to drive him to self-inflicted blindness and fury-haunted exile. De somnis sequentia. Now firmly, O my son, that the true will cannot err, for it is thine appointed course in heaven, in whose order is perfection. A dream of horror is therefore the most serious of all warnings,